What's up, fight fans? My name is Anik Subramanian. I'm a bare knuckle journalist for Pandemic MMA. Today, I'm here with the Queen of Violence, the UK's own, the proud mother of three, the BKFC's most entertaining fighter, Melanie Shah. First of all, Melanie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's nice to speak to you again.
Of course,
Um,
you're the OG, the first ever bare knuckle interview I did, so this one's special to run this one back. Yeah,
no, it's great. I really enjoy our podcast. So it was great to be able to do this again with you.
of course. And me and you have come a long way since that interview. Specifically, you. We spoke a couple weeks before your title fight last September. You had 600 followers
Yeah,
on Instagram. You now have 10 times the amount as 6,000. How has your life changed since then?
it went really crazy after the title fight. I mean, like obviously everything went viral, and that was kind of shocking. And I've just had so much positive response from everybody. It's been really great.
You definitely did. That was an absolute war. I know you took Britain the distance, and it's not easy to do that
Hmm.
against a champion. You also took that
Of
fight on
course.
short notice.
Yep.
So now, even though you did lose the decision, you accomplished
Hmm.
a ton last year. First British female to headline a BKFC event,
Yeah.
first British female to win an event in BKFC in the US and the UK, and
Yeah.
you also headlined a title fight. You also took
Hmm.
that 49 days after your previous fight. With all this media attention, like you've received it for your toughness and your grit, where does that toughness come from? Is there something from your childhood in the way you're raised that just made you so tough?
I think it's just that I don't see the point in giving up. So until you can't go anymore, you may as well try. So with like Brit, although there was a lot of times people said, oh, maybe she should have given up because she wasn't winning. And then I say, well, one, you never know. And two, what you're going to accomplish by quitting, like nothing. So I got so much more respect for going the distance and not being able to be stopped. Whereas if I'd have given in, I would have never known where it would have taken me.
That's a very good point. You definitely, and you did fight to the end. That's something
Yeah.
everyone has respected you for. Now, looking back at your fight with Britain, have your goals changed from now? Like, is your goal still to be a champion or put on the most entertaining fights? Like, what is your like sole goal in BKFC?
I mean, look, I have to be honest. My goal was never to be. I didn't go into the Britain fight thinking I want to be champion. It was that I wanted to uh, go the distance. My aim is to fight, fight hard, do an entertaining fight. I never want to be told it's a boring fight or want to switch off or something. And whatever happens, happens. I was never chasing the championship. I never chased it.
You kind of remind me of like the OG mixed martial artists, because back then the question I heard this somewhere, the question they asked back then was not how many wins you got, it's how many fights you got, how many battles have you been
Yeah.
through, how many things have you
Hmm.
pushed through. So it's nice to see that OG mentality back, because now we're in the day of social media where there's all these memes
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I feel like your trash talk is what you do in the squared circle. And something that people respect. You don't talk much. You let your fights do the talking, and they obviously do a lot of talking. So, speaking of your fights, you've been in three fights that have all been
Hmm.
bloody wars. A lot of
Yeah.
people tune in to BKFC for pure violence, right? You're always coming
Well,
forward,
mhm.
and the fans are screaming every time. There's been talks of a potential fight with number two ranked flyweight Taylor Starling. Tell us why we should be pushing for that fight.
Look, Taylor, I've got nothing but respect for. So I never um, call out someone or talk about fighting someone from a disrespectful point of view. I respect her. And the fights that she did that I really enjoyed were the same way I fight, which is bloody, coming forward, maybe a bit messy, but just going for it. And I think that me and her could have one of those kind of fights. And I think the fans would love it. I would love it. She would love it. And we'd both get something out of it. And I'm not thinking about it in winning or losing. I just think it will be an entertaining fight. I know it will be.
You're a true martial artist, a fighter's fighter. Now, I'm wondering with Taylor, right? She
Mhm.
fights at 125 pounds. You fight at 115. Where would this fight be at? Like what weight if you would choose?
Well, she just came down. She just fought Jenny Savage at
Right.
115. So she's only recently come down to 115. That's why I thought perfect time to have a fight with Taylor. I'd have fought her at a higher weight, but seeing how we're both fighting at 115 at the moment, this is the perfect time to go for it.
Yeah, that sounds perfect
Hmm.
then. Now,
Yeah.
if you two fight, it'll be age 42 versus age 27. I know I
Hmm.
said this at the end of last year, but the old got gold. 7 of 10 BKFC champions are now 38 or older. You're in the
Yeah.
best shape of your life at this age. If you
Hmm.
can take out the 27-year-old, you'd be backing your fellow older fighters. What do you think about that?
Well, I try not to look at age anyway,
Yeah.
because every single opponent I've had has been younger quite a bit. I mean, Sydney Smith was 32. I think she's 32, maybe 31. Matilda, who was my first win, she was 32. So I've never fought anyone my age anyway. I've always been given the younger opponents, and um, the age hasn't come into it. So I don't really think of age because I don't think it affects me. Um, Other people get affected by it, but I don't seem to. So I'm cool.
Makes sense. Melanie, where would you
Yeah.
like this fight against Taylor Starling?
Well, obviously, I want it to be in the US. And there's a few places that are quite close to Taylor. And she also is from South Carolina. So either one of those states would be really exciting because then you're fighting in someone else's home crowd. So it always brings a lot more energy to the fight, and I just really find it exciting. So that would be really like a really good venue, either one of those.
Speaking of South Carolina, BKFC's got a new champion from there, Keith Richardson. That would be great
Hmm.
because he's had 3 out of his 4 fights last year were in South Carolina. So I think we're booked up until April, but if they come there in like a May or something, that would be wonderful. So I'd love to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, Albuquerque is where I fought Sydney Smith, and I absolutely loved the place, and the people were so friendly, and everyone was so welcoming. So I'd love to be back there.
Now, BKFC is going worldwide. Dave Feldman just got
Mhm.
approved in California. I believe they're having a Knucklemania event there at the end of April.
Yeah,
He said it's going to be their biggest card in history.
that
So
would also be fun.
I was going to say, you might steal the show on a Mike Perry card just because of what
No.
you do in the squared circle. So I was going to suggest that as well. Is there any other places in the world that you would love to fight at? Obviously, I know you love fighting in front of your UK home crowd, but is there any specific like bucket list destinations you like to fight at?
Really love to do something in anywhere in the Middle East,
Hmm.
whether it's Dubai or Saudi or anywhere like that, because I just think that would be just amazing to have that kind of backdrop to a fight would just be out of this world.
A lot of combat sports are going there. We got a ton of
They are.
boxing events going there. The UFC is coming to Saudi Arabia in June. The PFL versus Bellator champions, they're going to be there
Yeah.
in a couple weeks. That place, hey, I'm sure Dave's working on something. Mr. President's
He's
always
always working.
something.
I mean, he's amazing. He's doing amazing things in the company, and I have so much respect for David Feldman. I mean, for what he's done and the opportunities he's brought for everyone. It's just incredible.
They have been incredible. And
Hmm.
speaking of, he's making some allies now. He met with Dana White, the UFC president, a couple weeks ago. I'm wondering,
Hmm.
what do you think they were talking about?
They were talking about how can we get Melanie Shah on a card for UFC and BKFC, and I'm like, anytime, guys, just call.
Beautiful promo right there. I'm gonna jump into a couple fun questions now to end this off.
Okay.
Is your family full of gamers? Because I see the machine next to you.
Everyone, I'm a big gamer. I've always been a big gamer. If I'm not fighting, I'm gaming. I'm into all my games. My boys are They've got a gaming channel. They've got all the retro consoles. They're into it really hard, and all the rest of the family, uncles and cousins, we're just mad for gaming. If we're not fighting, it's gaming.
I love it. Now, what game are you the best at?
Oh, I'm a Resident Evil fan. That's my favorite. So like,
Very nice, very nice.
mm,
Now I'm gonna ask you two more questions.
okay,
Leon Edwards, I know you did a little bit of training at Team Renegade. I know you've done most of it with
yeah,
your husband at home. I'm
yeah.
wondering, Leon Edwards, who do you think he should fight next?
I think he should fight. Um, I don't know. That's a tough one because I find there's a lot of disrespect at the moment towards Leon, and there's a lot of people that maybe should fight him next, but they're not showing any respect for what he's done. So I hate that. So I don't. A lot of people don't even deserve to fight him. So it's whatever he wants. So I wouldn't want to put names out there really, because it's disappointing when you see what he's achieved and how he's another fighter that shows a lot of respect to his opponents, and I just don't think he gets the respect back. So um, that would be up to him.
I feel like Leon's gonna be one of those champions that we won't fully appreciate him till he's gone. Like someone like Kamaru Usman, he beat everyone. He had 5 title
Yeah.
defenses, and people are always like, "Oh, he's bad on the mic." People would say a lot of stuff, but
Hmm.
Usman's a legend. Like he took the Khamzat Chimaev fight on 11 days' notice. I think Leon is someone who's underappreciated. I
He is.
think I think Bilal Muhammad should be next just out of merit, but obviously, Leon did come off of a big fight against Colby. I think I'm excited to see what happens. Like it could be Leon Bilal at 300, but we're waiting for Dana White to announce the main event and perhaps the next Melanie Shah fight as well. So let's see.
That's it.
And lastly, I'm gonna end this off. You got a message for your fans, friends, family, supporters?
I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting me from the start, everyone that's supporting me now. I really appreciate it. I'm not as showy as some of the other fighters, so sometimes I might be a bit reserved or quiet, but I really appreciate it. And I'm only in this for because I enjoy the fighting and I want to entertain. I'm not in it for belts or showing off. So I really just hope people understand that about me.
Well, fans, she's a true fighter. She's perfect the way she is. We appreciate her. Melanie, thank you so much, and I hope we get some fight news soon.
Thank you, and I'll speak to you soon as well.
Absolutely.